Hello there, all you folks out there in YouTube land. So, it looks like I drew the short straw, so I'll be your mistress of poage for the next several weeks while Tabitha drags herself back to sanity after a rather unfortunate run-in with an Eunjubi video. We wish her the best, but I really wish she managed to hold it together until the 1st of November. Oh, well. Let's get on with it. It's been a really busy week, with jobs going away and a copyright claim posted by that totally random content ID system YouTube's got. As such, there's not been a lot of time to gather material for a random rant. Kage tells me that these things are once a week minimum, and can be about whatever it is I might find obnoxious, funny, or what have you. Fair enough, I say. So it's time to subject you to something that annoys me. I was looking for the piece by Eric Hovind that Tabitha mentioned last time around, and stumbled upon his apology for his actions in Pensacola during the spring flooding in 2014. Now, his coverage and bias during the event was shameful, but the apology is, in my opinion, far worse. He spent several hundred words whining about how he got picked on for offending the atheist religion and not being treated like the other news sources running about the area at the time. You want to know? I don't think you do, actually. You did ask the question, however, and if it doesn't get an answer, you won't learn anything. So let's give it a go. The matter is really very simple. You used a local natural disaster to forward your father's narrative without looking into any factor except that's a lot of water. No journalist would do that, at least not if she wanted to keep her job. That's a strict no-no, and you not only violated that particular bit of ethics, you went further with it as a shameless self-promotion. Look at me, I'm reporting the news, it screams, whilst forwarding a global flood narrative that's been repeatedly debunked by people far more qualified than I. Here's the rub, Eric, you aren't a journalist, you're your father's son. No more, and no less. I can't hold your ardent belief in that ancient book of fairy tales against you, given what you grew up with, but I can hold your willful ignorance of the science you claim is wrong. You refuse to think for yourself, to derive your own conclusions, or study beyond God said it, I believe it, that settles it. Because that doesn't settle it for any but the frighteningly closed-minded, Eric. You think you're doing the work of the old bearded white man you revere, but in reality you're merely furthering the grand con game your father has been playing for decades. He went to prison for tax evasion, and left you holding the bag, with your home and financial future very much in jeopardy. He put you and your family in danger, and you repaid this harm by taking to the road and spouting his lies, most of them word for word. You sell DVDs of him giving the spiel, and worse, you pull a stunt like this. For shame, Eric, for shame. You're caught in a rather nasty feedback loop, and the only one that can break it is you. If you feed it in on your children, the chances of it breaking go down with each successive generation. Eventually, your father's crimes will be forgotten, and only that patently false set of assertions from him will remain. Of you, there will be nothing except that video and the apology you issued. Not that it was much of an apology. You can do better. Your statement is a slap in the face to everyone involved, from the people you exploited in your father's name to the people that took the time to comment on your video. If I was you, I'd been happy that they bothered to watch your video, and stopped long enough to inform you of your errors. Particularly with respect to the formation of the Grand Canyon. The canyon would have had to have been formed in days or weeks, as the entire story from the time the rain started to the time it all magically evaporated was 5 days longer than a year, with the planet in clear skies and no precipitation after the first 40. So yes, Eric, It had to have been done in days. If that third bit of prophecy comes true, then so be it. At least we're going down for something we did, rather than our birth certificates being proof of guilt. Next, you echo your do, and break out that decrepit canard about how all things science are evolution. As my erstwhile partner told Booby a few days ago, evolution is the variation of allele frequency in populations over time. It has nothing whatsoever to say about how the Grand Canyon formed, the Age of Terror, Sol, or the universe at large. It can address your assertion of a 6,000-year-old Earth, as we can trace back the artificial selection of dogs from wolves at least twice that figure. Some estimates run back that far again. It cannot, however, under any circumstances address anything else, including the origins of life, the universe, or anything else. Yes, massive erosion can happen in short order, but cutting stone more than 2 kilometers deep in a month is just not workable. Glaciers can cut stone on shorter timescales, but those still take time periods measured in human lifespan. What you saw was sandy topsoil and stone aggregate being swept out along a flood path, mostly in a straight line, and without the switchbacks that come with a river that changes its course over time and millennia of seasonal flooding events. We get to the very bottom of your letter, and you accuse the people you answered, and by extension the readers, of spreading disinformation, and assume we don't care about the facts. Rest assured, Eric, that we care very much about the facts, or we wouldn't have bothered to respond to you. In a show of projection, you accuse us of presuppositionalism, and then storm your way through existing theory. You then demand an apology for our misinformation, which you haven't proven is atheating of the sort, and go on to the actual apology. Your hair was a mess. Fuck you, Eric. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, twice each. Your list of scientists at the beginning is a laundry list of known frauds and idiots. You declaim using the flood for personal gain, but no matter how much work you claim to have done, you still used it to forward your narrative, and that is itself a gain. Your faithful will see it as an advancement of their beliefs, and so you gain stature with them, and that will eventually lead to more money either in the form of larger donations from your existing flock, an expansion of the current flock, or more likely a mix of both. You're building your father's empire on the back of the credulous and ignorant, and if that's not a net gain for you, I don't know what is. Before I sign off for this video, I have one question for you. If God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and omnipresent, why does he need you to defend him? He could smite me with nothing more than a thought, and does not. Why is that? Who are you to know the mind of a being that you proclaim better than all other things in every conceivable way? Why does anyone need to defend such a creature? By your own assertions, and those of the book you worship, he can do it himself. He needs no army, no defense council, no prosecutors and no diplomats. Compared to that, you're nothing. We all are. We're amoeba wandering around in a petri dish. We can't hurt it, we can't even affect it on any scale. So then, why does he need you? Or your father? Or Ken Ham, Ian Juby, or Andrew Snelling? That's it for me for now, I think. I'll be back on Monday at the latest for a blow-by-blow teardown video. Who that's going to be is subject to debate currently, but I'll get it worked out. If you like what you've seen, please consider clicking the subscribe button below, and rate if you watch, regardless of your opinion. Even a downvote helps us make decisions on future content. If you've a comment, whether you agree with me or not, leave it below. This includes corrections. I can always add annotations, or if I've got a lot of them, a separate video with the correct information. I'm always up for a good debate, assuming you can bring verifiable evidence to the table.